My name is Mrs. Eunice Egbuna. I was born in Alai, then married to a man from Anambra State. Yes, I first of all worked as a banker, CCB, before I joined teaching. And I worked as a teacher, classroom teacher, in fact, for 16 years. Right now, I am the Executive Director of Initiative for Grassroots Interventions and Development in Education. It's an NGO, which was formerly Divine Guidance Education Services. Yes, when I was teaching, before I got retired, because right now I'm retired, I was following the NGO work because I have passion for such things, to make sure that things work. So presently, I'm a retiree of this Secondary Education Management Board, SEMB, Abia, and I'm the Zonal Coordinator of CSACEFA, Civil Society Action Coalition on Education for All, that's CSACEFA, and also the State Coordinator. Well, I want to talk a little about maybe the time I was maybe a teacher, a student or something like that. I want to tell you that in those days, as students, we enjoyed academics because there was competition. You want to compete with other people. There was library, people were reading and things like that. So that was exactly what made me to enjoy education. But from the time I started teaching, well, I would say that a little of it, of the goodness or goodies in education was seen, because as at the time, teachers were being paid. Yes, they were receiving their salaries. Around, I joined their teaching in 2006. So within that period, that was the time who was even the governor, I think, or Joseph, the teachers were really having their pays, you know, maybe their leave allowance. That was when we talked about leave allowance. Teachers were having their leave allowance. At least by the 6th or 8th of the next month, he would have paid the salary of the previous month. It's not to say that it was all that rosy. But when you talk about what is happening, by the time within that period, immediately after his own tenure, and then the other people came in, I think for TTOG, then from TTOG now, Okezo Ikbazo, Doctor, PhD. I want to tell you that there is nothing to write home about within that period, even up till this moment. The teachers there who are still in the school, they are crying. They are even saying that we are better off that we have left to the system. Because at least I don't wake up early in the morning to be rushed to go back to school, think about notes and all that when nobody is paying you. You understand? So we are better off because I can rest and then come to my office and then do the little I can do. So when you talk about, let me start with the welfare of the teachers, like I said. There's nothing. They are crying. They are not enjoying at all. And that is why they always think about strike and all that. They are just looking for a strategy to make the government to be sensitive, you know, to think about their welfare. And when the teacher is not taken care of, what do you expect? It's not easy because they have their parents. They also have their own children to take care of. So when they don't do anything, when they don't have anything, it's difficult. Emotionally, when they come to class, they want to come to school, actually. Teachers are mothers. They are also fathers. And though we have a lot of the female gender in the teaching profession, they love children. They want to do. But when they come in and then maybe you have not fed and you have not, your children are asking for fees and all that, you are not able to do it. It's very difficult. They manage to go to classes. So that is the situation now. Then when you talk about the environment, there is no protection. Most of the schools and the government schools, they don't have fences. So, you know, intruders, people go in and come out like that. And now we are the period of, we are talking about insecurity, attacks and all that. Then you go to government schools, you see what is happening. So they are not secured. And because of it, right from the time of COVID, you know, many people dropped out of school. We have tried to do some mapping as NGOs to go and find out, because I went back to the school where I retired from, to go and find out. So many people have not been able to come back to school. One, they are afraid because of the insecurity. Two, because of the poverty. There's nothing that is happening. I know in those days that people used to, you know, come and help, maybe stakeholders in the communities. They can come out and, you know, pick one or two persons and help them. Nothing is happening because they tell you they don't have. know, and all this, the wickedness that is going around. People are even afraid of helping, some people. So it's really a problem. There's no library. You can't think about library. Well, poverty is everywhere. And that is the work of the government. At least to provide library, provide these books, find out the books that are being used in the school, provide them. So that when children come to class, you give them, you share the books to them. They were doing like that, for us when we were in schools in those days. You share the books, at least to relieve the parents that don't have anything. The children will not use the books, read, maybe return or do the assignments. Nothing like that. What are you talking about? Is it water facility? With all these things, the few things I have said, you see that the standard of education has fallen. Many people have dropped out of school, they are not ready to come. Those who are in school are not serious. Because when they don't have the textbooks to read, nobody is assisting them, and the teachers are not being taken care of, they are not, energetic the way they should be, or maybe paying personal attention to each student because that's what they're supposed to do. Then many people don't come to school. They come to school when they like. Maybe on the market days you will not see them. Then when they come to school, you give them assignment. When I was in school, do you know that these people refuse to do assignment? You go from school to class to class, asking, demanding, just for you to have something to show in case the supervisors arrive. They don't do assignment. So there's no standard of education. The performance is nothing to write home about. When you look at the scripts, what they write, the way they speak, the way they talk, the way they behave, even the moral is not there because the people are not interested. So there's a problem in the education system, and something has to be done urgently too. Now, parents are saddled with much responsibility of looking for a way to pay the school fees and do other things. They are hardly at home, and most of them are not even educated. So when they rush out to go and get the money as being demanded to come and pay, they don't know how to do every other thing, and the children are left alone. So it's only when you monitor, because they are children, that is when they will be able to do those things. So we need sensitization among the parents. I know that there is a bad economy, that they go out to go and get something, but they should know also their work and their responsibilities. And it is the government that will allow the NGOs, support the NGOs who are willing and ready to go to the grassroots to talk to parents in the communities and to educate and sensitize them on what they're supposed to do. Most of them don't know these things. They are just copying others because they know that they know what they mean by exam centers, magic centers and the rest of them. So they are looking for money to go and pay, especially those in the private schools, to pay to make sure that the children, pass or are taken to the next class. Because I won't even say pass exams, that they are promoted to the next class. So it is a problem. They are not interested in whether they know or they don't know. They just want them to follow the band who are going to move up. So it's a problem. I don't even talk about those things in some schools. Even private schools, you don't talk about that. Repeating a class. No, the parents will even tell you what do you want, that you can be given to you that will make the child not to lose, the classmates. You have to go with the classmates. Some of them don't even want them to finish their standard 6 or SS3. They want to write the exam in SS2 and go out without knowing that the child there's a missing link. I think that the government will now begin to pay attention to their schools. The schools, there's nothing to write home about the schools. I'm talking about infrastructure. They don't have books. They don't have all those amenities that will attract somebody to stay and be comfortable. Some of them sit on the floor, on bare floor to write. You need to go there and visit and see what happens. When we go for monitoring, we know what we see. It's a pity. So let them come up and revive the schools, so that there'll be a competition between the government schools and the private schools. It's because there's this laxity and the teachers are not being paid. Sometimes you don't know when they vocalize it, before the students, just out of emotion, you don't know. So the people prefer the private schools because they say there won't be any strike, this and that, without thinking about the quality, the standard, the teachers that are there and the things they do. So let the government come in, and when they come in in full force and make sure that they want to do the schools to look even better, than the private schools. They know they have what it takes. The teachers are there, qualified teachers to teach them. And we as an NGOs too, we are much willing to help them. For instance, now we have what we call National Policy on Safety and Security, Violence-Free Schools. It is a policy, and it has to be documented, domesticated in the states. So we are now pushing, talking about it to the government. But it's a problem that this government is so closed up that they don't want you to come in. We have written letters severally to go and see commissioners. Up to this moment, I mean, the first one we wrote, I think it was about May, up till now. Just to come in and see, we have not come to do anything. Just to rapport with you and tell you, this is our position. We are Education Network Coalition, and this is what we do in the state, in the federal there. We want to bring it down here. Let us be part of what people are doing in your plannings, so that we'll bring ideas on how to better these things. Having, served in the education industry, I know what it means. Do you understand? But they will not allow you to come. So this safe school now, we are talking about it. We want them to allow us. Those are the things you will go and teach both the teachers and the students. For safety. Now we are not having all these maybe kidnapping of students en masse here. But we don't know. We have to think about tomorrow. It's good to be proactive. Is it not true? Yes. But they would not want to listen to you. Domesticate it and then train the teachers and the schools, both private and then public schools. Okay. They should do that so that they'll know how to secure. And then that we want to prevent attack. Okay. We also want to prevent attack is in different forms. It may not be physical. It may not be the using arm or kidnapping people. There are so many things into it. Bullying is part of it. Okay. Then the flooding and all those things that make people to be afraid of going to school, they're all there. Okay. So if those things are put in place, both in private and the public schools, we are talking about enrollment. There'll be increase in enrollment, retention, and eventually then completion of education. That is number one. Do you understand? And then the confidence will be restored back. Then they also look at the welfare of the teachers. I'm interested in that. Because when you do all those things and then the schools are beautiful and then the teachers are there and hungry, there is still a gap. Yeah. This is less than half. Less than 50%. That's what I'll give them. Because it can't be, you can't tell me that you are a product of, a family, that is educated, and you'll be handling the education system in this way. They have not done anything. In fact, less than 50%, that's what I'll give them. So they should get up. But I know that there's money somewhere. So they can start from somewhere. Even if they want to start paying the teachers, they pay them. Then they go back to, have negotiations and discussions with people on education, like I'm talking about this CSACEFA, and other people who can give them ideas on what to do. The schools have to be put in place so that it will attract, because the poor masses that attend it. Those who have money, they will prefer going to private schools. So let them bring back the masses back to school, handle the teachers properly, provide the amenities that are used in schools. Then we'll know that activities. That safe school is one of them, which if they're able to give us opportunity to go to the schools and talk about it, what it means and what the education system stands to gain, we will do that, because we're supposed to work with them. We are not asking them to pay us anything, it's just logistics to do it. So that people will now know that there is safety in schools and that the government is conscious of all those things. Let them come up and say, yes, we want to secure our schools. That is number one. Then other things like maybe during the policy making in everything, they should allow the CSOs that are in education to be part of what they are doing. Even in monitoring. Because I know that some of them, they go to monitor exams, they collect money. You cannot send any CSO to go and monitor an exam. The person will be asking for money. Then the person is in trouble. So, independent monitors in schools, during exams, during implementation of projects, very, very important. You cannot implement a project and then you monitor yourself. There will be some people that will be doing it. From magic centers. And then from some schools who will not want to lose their students. The students, most of them don't write by themselves. Even a student will want to say he or she wants to write by him or herself. You see them telling them, okay, go and stay at a place. you want to show us that you're very intelligent, you're very important. They do it, they have to say it, they won't do me anything. When I was in school, it was only once that I went for WIC supervision, once for NECO. You know why I went there? I wanted to be sure of what they were doing. When I found out and discovered, I said, throughout my stay, I never went for supervision. Because why? If you go and they give you money, like my person, I will not collect, I will not allow you to do it, because I didn't do any. I want to protect that which I learned, which I studied. You have to learn so that when you come out, you transfer the knowledge to other people. Not just going to pay and then collect knowledge and then begin to match it or not. That's why they are doing all those things they are doing. I'm telling you that all those people are doing these things. Maybe they pass, in a very through the back door. Because if I'm there, I will not allow those things. So I refuse to go. Why? If they give you money and you refuse, somebody can shoot you, can kill you. So I decided not to go. So that is it. Supervision, which people are going for supervision? Sometimes market people. Then the principals will now buy them and tell you, this is how much you're going to report when you come back. Then they send them. What do they know when they go there? They don't know how to mark and attendance and all that. They don't even know those things. All you know that carry it and go. Look at the other way and they do what they are doing. That is the magic. So they should stop pretending. They should allow us, equip the teachers that are there to teach the students. When we go back to teaching them the right way we're supposed to teach them, when they grab the knowledge, they don't need any expo. That is it.